Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I'm still in the book, my app. We got another lesson coming for you. This is about the judgment. We all will be judged, okay? According to you. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rule to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but you don't have to answer for yourself. Tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Mayat. Be true. Speaking of Mayat, right thinkers, let's talk about the judgment. That's the conscience. CONSCIENCE. That means your heart conscious, not your mind conscious. Watch this. Why the spelling is different. It's been scientifically proven God dwells in the heart of man. So that's the science that's been proven. Conscious, the heart conscious. Now, they say your heart conscious of the human is his or her own God. I've been doing this for a while, and as I say, the dots, I connect the dots, and it's all come back to understanding you and God are one. No matter how you break it down, no matter how you mulberry bush you go around, it's coming down to the same thing. So I try to get you there with a little less aggravation, a little less time. All right, that's from the book of coming forth by day. Y'all know it as the book of the day. It's the book of coming forth by day. By day is the afterlife, and you got to walk this walk to get there. Simple. Moving on. I ain't got time to go through all that. It's a waste of a bunch of, I call that fluff. Man, get the bottom line. Get to the bottom line type person. Get to the bottom line. I'm going to get you to the bottom line. Knowledge of self. Religion. Again, don't misunderstand my point about religion. Religion has 3 levels, and it has a purpose that I know. Mythology. So they're telling you that the religion is based on myths. Allegory, stories, not literal. So stop thinking they real, please. Ooh, I'm going to drop the whole concept. Mythology, the first criteria. The second one, number 2, is ritual. Learning and practicing the ritual. You go to church every Sunday. I practice that. I go with you too. But this is the part that falls short with a lot of church people and Masons. You get the first 2 degrees. You get the story, you practice the ritual. But you give up because you can't have the metaphysical or what we call the mystical experience. When you and God connect. The purpose of religion is to get you to God. That's the purpose of religion. So if you ain't filling out the religious concept that you claim to follow, you ain't ever going to get to God. The religion's job, their job is to do just that. The myth of Asar. That's the one that everybody likes because it's about our life and it's easy to understand. My favorite too. The myth of Asar, Aset in Haru, is the story of how me and you came into the world. I tell you, the spirit in us is Haru. Our father is Asar, the first spirit in matter, man, and his wife, sister, Aset. She represents intuitive knowledge. That's stuff that we have already up here that we had to pull out. They was teaching us how to use our mind, how to think right. That's why it's falling so. I said, wait a minute. They got this mind thing already figured. Yeah. 12 apostles, 12 cranial nerves in the mind, in your brain, and you got 12 organs, the 12 situations going on in the body. Those numbers are there for a reason, not just they just put them out their butt. Say, oh, you just put this in there. No, every number has a purpose and a reason. That's what studying and understanding esoteric knowledge does for you. It gives you a better understanding of everything, pretty much. No, I don't know everything, but I understand how everything works. The mythical level, that's the third level, when you have your experience. And Heru represents what we call the mythological level of ancient Egyptian religion. The spirit that's in us connects us to God. Our father was God. In the flesh, Asar, his wife, intuition. But these are all mental concepts that works from the brain aspect. The spirit and the mind working together. You have the rituals represents the ancient Egyptian book of coming forth by day. We go through the rituals. And the rituals represents the ritual level. Just that. If you go to church every week, I know people in the church over 40 years ain't learned a damn thing. Why? They're stuck on the ritual. They love the ritual. They love to go to church. Yeah. But during the week, they doing a whole bunch of nonsense, and they're always in prayer. They're always in need, but they always following it. They church bound like 40 going on, and they ain't never getting the benefit. Why? They're not living right. Church don't work if you don't work it. Get it? Now, to represent the level, the philosophy of judgment is what Mayat teaches. And it represents what we call mystical philosophy. Getting understanding on what and how to do. The 42 precepts of Mayat, how to live right. Which is at the heart of all ancient religion and is the goal of all spiritual practices, including right thinkers, us, okay? The first two levels are like steps on a ladder. You climbing Jacob's ladder, you climbing whatever it is, but you climbing the 33 steps in the spinal column. How about that? From the bottom to the top, 33 bones. All that, y'all, the numbers come from somewhere. They don't just make them up. That's my point. But when you first two steps on the ladder, and they are not the end of the road, you ain't even got started yet. You ain't even got in the ballpark yet. You just on your way. You got to understand it. You're going. And you never go in the gate. Why? When you stop at the second level, all you got is ritual. All you want to do is go and show. That's it. You don't want the experience. You don't want to know God. Why? You want to have somebody tell you. You want to just believe what somebody tell you. You don't want to do your own homework. They call y'all followers, blind followers, believers in a man, not God. Y'all following the preacher. Y'all following the man. Y'all go through every Sunday. Y'all just, and women, y'all fall in love with the pastor. Stop that. Stop that. Stop. He's just a pastor. He's a man. And most of them are already married. So fantasize about being one of that's a waste of time. That ain't nothing about religion. If the man is good, respect him for being good, get his intellect, get his spiritual knowledge. You ain't got to get in his pants. He ain't trying to get in yours, I don't think. Well, I know my pastor ain't. And I know I don't. So don't deal with men trying to get in. Don't do that. That don't work. Why? We smarter than that. But then again, you got those who like lower nature, who ain't got to cross that lower nature. And women flirt with them and they flirt back. I stopped that. I shut that down. What? I ain't got time for that. Don't waste my time, please. And those who get lost in what? The first two steps. I know Masons. 3 steps. They only get 2. Some get 1. Why? Fear or whatever else going on. They wasn't pursuing it with their all. They just thought it was a good idea. They went, It happens, okay. But those who get the first 2 levels will never discover the ultimate transcendental truth behind the religion and the purpose. Why? They won't know themselves. Why they won't put the work in. You can't get the highest level without putting the work in. You can't lazy your way up here. No, you got to work. That's the difference. Okay, even in religion. But they will remain at the level of what we call dogma and empty ritual. They got a bunch to say about everything, but do nothing but talk. And those are people you get annoyed with. Why? All they doing is talking. You ain't manifest nothing. You ain't did nothing. So I don't waste my time with them. That's all it is, a waste of time. If we can't have an intelligent conversation about life, I don't want to have a conversation. Why? Anything else is wasting my time. You can talk about life. I'm with that. But a lot of people ain't. Why? Their life is miserable. They're not living right. So they don't want to talk about that. That'll put them on the spot. Be responsible for your actions. Be a good person. That's what you got to do. The people doing it, that's why they doing it. And if you ain't one of the people, you should get with the movement. In order to gain a firm understanding and grounding for your understanding of what the Mayat or right thinking philosophy and the judgment that comes behind it, we're preparing you to be what? Who you need to be at Judgment Day. Pure of heart, righteous, speak my kadu. Those are things that we give you to practice. So when it's time to show at Judgment Day, you'll be ready. We must first look at the ancient Egyptian myth of who? Ra and Asar. Ra came from the spirit into matter, into Asar, by the way of Nut and Gad. Okay, so all this is just a story. All this is mythological, but we think that some literal in there and some personal in there, trying to make it fit. No, it's just a story. Understand the story, and then put you in the story that sets for you. You become Haru. Your father, your mother, your father got killed. Your mom brought him back to life, got him pregnant, and you came into the world. That's your story. Moving on. But the story of Asar and Ra. Ra is the supreme being. He created, the universe by, you ready? You ready? This is what the religions miss. Ra created the universe by emerging from the primeval waters we know as the Noon. Y'all call it the abyss. Same thing, it's still water. Ain't nothing going on but a bunch of possibilities. We know that anything come out of here, that's called chaos. Where there's chaos, everything going on, but nothing, no, really. That's where Maya comes and sets the order for the world. And when he did so, he established order. That's Maya in the universe. How? By placing Maya in the place of what? Chaos and confusion. What we got going on right now in society. Ain't no Maya going on here. I'm the Maya person. I'm crazy. He don't want nobody to win that. But I'm just doing the right thing. I'm just living right. I could care less who follows. I could care less what people think or feel. I'm doing it for those who, what? Can use what I got and use it, and that's what I do it for. Remember, my motto, I do what I do for you. I also do it for me while I live it. He incarnated himself. Where? In his creation. Right there. That part right there, if you are a belief system follower and they telling you God is up high, looking down low, you should think about that. You should think about that. I'm going to leave it right there. But we tell you, he incarnated himself in his creation. How? By taking on the human form of who? Asar. Told you that. I do this. I know this. Just what I'm trying to explain to you. When you know something, you be good at it and make it look easy, hopefully. So therefore, our souls are from God. Our physical body is from our mother and father who get together and make it. But the soul aspect is of God. Did that make sense? I hope you understand that. So therefore, your soul of Asar, the soul of Asar, is what? In reality, Ra, God himself. What? Just as a metaphor and in a human form. So he put his soul into the physical body to have what? We are spiritual beings here to have a human experience. He wants to have every human being is in what? Incarnation of the divine self, aka God. We just had a memory wipe or what? Just don't know. So we got to what? Find out. Know ourselves. Discover it. Find God. Whatever you want to call it. But that's the name of the game of life. And the soul wants to what? Go back to its maker. Yeah, I got the heaven and hell concept, but you miss it. This is hell. This is hell. Simple as that. The spirit don't want to stay here. The spirit is here. Why? Because the body is in the body. Once it leave the body, it won't go up. It wants to ascend. That's why the spirit is recognized by birds with wings. Why? To ascend. The physical body is represented by what? Four-legged animal. Okay, set. Earthbound. He ain't leaving. The body is physical. It don't go nowhere. The spirit does. We got to be understanding that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and you would get the concept. Why? Every human being is the incarnation of the divine self, God. And because we're human, we suffer through the trials and tribulations of what we call human life. And that's what we're here for, to do just that. Okay? And they say you sign a contract, so I don't get caught up in all of that. Okay? But you're here because you want to be. You're here because you put yourself in this position. So they say, I say I'm here because him and my mom got together. Bam. I become an entity of life. So I know how I got here. I know now, being here for 67 years, why I'm here. And I'm doing just that. Why? I don't want to leave. I don't want to come back. See, when I leave, I don't want to come back. A lot of us come back. I have come back a few times in spirit, but not in consciousness. This is the first time I've been here. In my last. Moving on. If you get it right, ding, 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 that's the name of the game. All right? Trust Mr. Right. Right now, I'm going to break down real quick. I got a few more minutes. All right. What follows is I'm going to give you an explanation of the siren resurrection myth. I get the story. I love the story. That's the original story. I'm trying to avoid it because I give it too many times. It gets old to me. So study the story for yourself. You get a perspective of your own. I'm trying to put my perspective out there. You can study the story and see what you get out of it. Okay? All right. Now, the process of creation, we explain it in the form of what we call cosmological system. That's for a better understanding. Cosmology is a branch of philosophy that's dealing with what? The origin, the beginning of things, the process of things, and the structure, aka the universe. We studied that. They studied that. They studied that. They mastered it. Cosmogony is the astrophysical study of creation and evolution of the universe, meaning us, the physical part, the human beings. Both of these disciplines are inherent facets of Egyptian Maya philosophy. Why? Through the main religious systems, okay, are companies of what we call gods or goddesses. A company of god and goddesses is what a group of deities. What the hell is a deity? I went from a god to the deity. Of deities which symbolize, this is esoteric teaching, it's all symbolical. It symbolizes a particular cosmic force. Shu represents the air that we breathe. We gave him identity, gave him a life, hooked him up with Tough Newt. Tough Newt is the moisture that comes from above. We already got water here, so she brings what we call moist air that we can water the earth with. Okay, that's her job. Those are concepts, elements, not real people, but we give them identity. See where I'm going with this? And there are cosmic force or principle in Star Wars. What do you tell them? Luke, use the force. Use nature to your benefit. The Native Americans did it. The Aborigines did it. Our ancient ancestors did it. Only one who don't do it is the white man. Western civilization fights nature. Moving on. Due to its ignorance of it. Which emanates, we got all the principles, elements that emanate from what? From the all-encompassing supreme being. The one. From which they have emerged. Everything comes from the one. George been telling me that for 50 years, so he knew a lot more than he was letting on to at the time. Why? Because he put in that music and he phoned it to me. I got it and I'm running with it now. Good, let's go. The self or the supreme, number one being, again, manifests creation through the properties and the principles represented by what we call the Paiute, the company of God and goddesses, aka cosmic law. I just tell you, karma is God's law, not man's. Okay? You reap what you sow. You put good out, you get good in return. That's God's law. That ain't man's. Man don't govern that. God do. That's what I'm saying. If you're being blessed, that means you're living right. Why? Because God is adhering to and syncing with your lifestyle and making it better for you. That's what he do. Cosmic laws, what we call nature, elements. The company of gods and goddesses of Anu, I did the story about him going to his resting day, okay, Judgment Day, is regarded as what we call the oldest and forms of what we, the basis of the Assyrian Trinity. Here's the man going to be judged. Going into the judgment chamber, Maya. He passes judgment. He makes it through. He do everything he needs to do. And that's the story of what? Me and you. If we get it right. The other story is we just reincarnate. You ain't got no story. You die. Okay, so remember, the physical body will die. The consciousness that we have that makes us identify us, our ego self, will die if it don't get enlightened. The ego get killed with the consciousness in the physical body if it don't get enlightened. So it can fight, it can do it. It don't care what. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. It don't care. There's no purpose and reason for the ego to what? Become enlightened. You got to conquer that, put him in check. He just be your best worker. He got nothing to do with nothing. Okay, remember you got that guy who just do anything, but don't give him don't give him no responsibility. Don't give him nothing to do but just what he do. You use them to your benefit. Again, I got big guys. Y'all blocking. Why? You big guy. You get to get them people where, knock people down. That's why I'm a football mentality. Everything I think is football concepts and allegories. All right, let's end up right here with the mystical concepts of the Assyrian myth for the study of Mayat. There's the story for a purpose. The story is to get you to understand the creation itself is really based on Mayat, or what we call cosmic order. When Ra came out at noon, he needed order. Sun, stars, moon, everything in order. Mayat keeps all that running. And watch this. In order for the first requirement necessary in order for human existence, the first thing to be possible and without human existence, the spirit, which is God. Without a human existence, the spirit cannot incarnate into human form in order to what? Experience the physical reality. That's the spirit having what? The human experience. Spirit by itself is just, that's it. It needs physical matter to exist in the three-dimensional world, the physical world, time and space, where we judge what? Time and space by what we do here, day and night, constantly rolling on. It ain't gonna stop. We give it time. It don't keep track. It's been done for millions and billions of years. Don't care. That's what I'm saying. Secondly, you have the story, and it shows how Mayat leads to what? Peace and order, what? In society. She just wasn't about personal. She wanted to take care of the overall picture. That's the difference. And this was invented by the idyllic life of Asar, who brought order, education, peace to the world. He was the man, so to speak, okay, in his own right. And because his ego brother didn't like him, jealous of him, acted on what? His dislike. We just got my man. Somebody didn't like what he was putting down. They took him out. Okay? Everybody all of a sudden, now he's a great guy. No, he wouldn't. No, we didn't go that far. Okay? Why when we die, all of a sudden we great? I was at the funeral. The stuff that she said about him, I'm like, you know who's in there? You obviously you don't know him. You don't know him. And we all looked at each other like, oh, who's she talking about? Okay? You are who you are, even in death. So don't don't do all that, please. Well, we do anyway. We got to make him look good. But when he brought peace to the world, everybody was happy. There's always that one. But the story also shows how we want to focus on egoism. Your ego, Satanian qualities, anger, hatred, greed, jealousy, lust, pride, vanity, all those are qualities of the ego, which is inside you, which can be you if you don't watch yourself. And when you fall victim to this, your life ain't going to be worth crap. And it leads, I just told you, all these qualities, they lead to death and destruction of oneself. The hieroglyph for your ego is the man with a hatchet to his head. Modern times, man with a gun to his head. Same concept. Destructive, self-destructive. You are your worst enemy. Thus, when you live virtuous, righteous, and you're living according to the precept of Mayat, saying, I have not done this, and you engender a life of prosperity, while Satanian living leads to sorrow and death. You got one person, they happy, life going good, they're doing everything the right way, and they're happy. Why? They're being rewarded. That's why they're happy. Other person's struggling, sneaking, conniving, lying, cheating, everything they could to survive, to just get by. And they wonder why this guy so happy. Cain and Abel. When you serve God in earnest, He'll reward you. When you booyah God, He don't do that. I just see a thing where they said Cain wasn't even. No, I don't know. See, I don't do the biblical stuff. Why y'all got too much stuff going on? I stay in ancient. We keep it real easy and smooth. I ain't got time for y'all nonsense. That's why. So the story that I hear about the Bible, go in one ear and out the other. Why? Yeah, I have no use for that. Not at all. Okay, so I'm not beat for y'all stories. And they claim that Cain was not the legitimate father. So, the legitimate son. He was born of evil. So his father is Satan. That's the damn ego. Again, we know who Satan is. Y'all just playing this double. Sorry, calm down. I get excited, but we already had that covered. The Egyptians had this thing on our head covered, stem to stern, even down to the bottom of the butt, the sacrum. They know the body. They know the physical body. Know it controlled by what? This thing up here. And what we as humans in modern time don't have a clue. What's this? When you're living right, you have a life of prosperity, and those who live wrong won't. It's just that simple. And we see it every day. Disguised as what? This, that, and the third. It's all the same stuff. Righteous people get blessed, do right, live right. People respect them for that. Sneaky, deceitful people get karma, and they have a whole bunch of adversities in life and their situation that they brought on themselves. See? Simple. All right, let's go. Oh, let me wrap this up. All right, taking it in. The ancient Egyptian book of coming forth by day is really the ritualization of the Assyrian myth. It breaks it down for you. The front of my book tells you the Malak philosophy, the ancient Egyptian path to what? Righteous government. That means the government had to be in order. That's what she did. And they lived 1,000 years like that. Spiritual, social, ethics, and morals. Self-mastery and mystical spiritual enlightenment. We're giving you license on life, how to live right. And all you got to do is implement it and you'll be rewarded. Moving on. Let me close it out right now. So, the myth in it, the spiritual aspirant, you, is asked if he or she is what? Lived according to the principles of truth and justice while they were alive. So that question going to be asked to you. The heart going to answer, okay? And if you have not put your work in, the heart will be heavy, okay? It ain't got the answer. It's going to go on the scale. A heavy heart carries the burdens of all the satanic qualities that you carry with you. That's what rests in the heart makes it heavy, okay? You free yourself from that, and the burden don't rest on the heart. It's gone. You eradicate out your qualities, your system, your personality. So they will be what? Worthy. If you answered the correct and affirmative to the 42 confession, they will be worthy in discovering what? The heights of spiritual evolution. By putting the work in, they ascended their consciousness. Now, if not, what happened? They will experience more suffering, even in the astral plane world of existence. And then they will once again experience reincarnation into what? Another human body. That's the concept of the spirit. If it don't get conscious, it just reincarnates. Like God does reincarnate in what? In his creation. He don't stop. It's an ongoing thing. So every human being experiences a judgment of their character when after death. That's what we had a full understanding about. Why we try to give you everything you needed to get you prepared for that. We're going to die. Being scared to die is dumb. Moving on. But they had to correct your judgment and for your character as to what? Whether or not it is or was in line while you lived with Mayat, which implies you had growth in spirituality, or with the forces you combine darkness, ignorance, and evil, which all implies what? Sin, and causes you pain of self and others. Why? By doing bad things, ignorant things. I keep saying I can't stand ignorant people, and I'm getting better at dealing with why. Ain't nothing I can do about them. They're ignorant, they're going to be ignorant, they're going to do ignorant shit. Leave them be. Moving on. Let them go. The judgment, this judgment, and everybody has it, is the subject of our ancient book of coming forth by day. You can't pass judgment if you what? Didn't live Mayat. Simply that, a balanced life, a righteous life. That's all. And you are the decider of that. You the judge. You the judge. No. You will decide how you live. That's a beautiful concept. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I like giving it to you. I'll be right back. I got another one for you. You know how we do. In closing, right thing, because maybe you all there to be 100. Me 100 minus a day. So I've never done my right thing who's starting to get the philosophy of Mayat that passed away. And remember, those who live Mayat don't die.